Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody, wherever you are in the country. My name is Nok Flynn. I am one of the senior judges, and I am looking forward to hearing from you and your presentation. All right. Well, what I'll do is I will keep track of the time. When it hits the 90-second mark, I will unfortunately have to interrupt and say this time is up. Okay? All right, so what will go in this order? First, we will do UG 28, Green Street Consulting, and then UG 30, Greenovator Solutions Consulting, UG 08, BMR Solutions, and UG 36, Carbon Shift. Okay, sounds good. All right, Green Street Consulting, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, I will go ahead and click the timer. All right, floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Green Street Consulting, but currently I'm an employee. So you ask, why is tackling child sexual abuse material, or CSAMs, important right now for our company, Anthropic? Well, CSAMs is one of the hardest, most urgent problems in AI right now. The spread of AI-generated images or videos, some realistic, some deepfaked, depicted the sexual exploitation of children. An example of this documentation is child porn. Sometimes it's made from real abuse, and sometimes it's synthetic. Either way, it's trauma, replicated and shared online. Our incredible technology is being abused and accelerating it. This is not just disturbing, it's a failure of justice, of safety, and of design. And it's happening on our watch. This ties directly into the UN Sustainable Development Goals, specifically Goal 16, which is about building a world where people, especially the vulnerable, are safe from violence. If our AI systems contribute to this kind of harm, we are not building sustainability, we're building irresponsibility. Not to mention, legislation is moving quickly as governments recognize the risks of unregulated AI, especially around child safety. If our company fails to act now, we won't just face legal pressure, we'll lose trust, market share, and the chance to shape our future. We can either lead now or be forced to follow later. At Anthropic, we have the chance to lead, not just by creating powerful tools, but by providing safety, ethics, and sustainability that belongs to the core of our innovation. That's the kind of future I want to help build, and that's why this work matters to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, you got that right on 90 seconds. Great job. Okay, um, let's have UG 30 Greenovator Solutions Consulting, and I will start the timer. Okay, floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I represent Greenovator Solutions Consulting, an organization dedicated to enhancing the intelligence of fashion at H&M. Currently, H&M is grappling with a significant issue: overproduction. The repercussions of these challenges are stark, including billions of dollars tied up in unsold inventory, escalating environmental degradation, and a growing erosion of consumer trust, all indicative of a system that is advancing too rapidly without sufficient insight. Our role is to provide clarity in that regard. We propose the incorporation of Hurotech, an advanced AI-driven trend forecasting platform capable of analyzing millions of social media images to anticipate fashion trends as far as 6 months ahead of time. This innovative technology not only identifies what styles are gaining traction, but also pinpoints the optimal timing, locations, and intensity of these trends. By harnessing Hurotech's, H&M can align production with actual consumer demand, effectively reducing waste, lowering operational costs, and maintaining a competitive edge in market's ever-shifting landscape. The outcome? A more streamlined supply chain, a reduced environmental footprint, and a brand poised to lead in data-driven sustainability. Our mission is not to decelerate the pace of fashion, but rather to render it a more intelligent, sustainable, and socially responsible way. Together, we can position H&M as a pioneer in future of fashion, transcending the confines of fast fashion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, and now we have UGO 8 BMR Solutions.
Oh, it won't let me start my video for some reason.
Oh no.
I think it says it's okay. There we go. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Let me start the timer. Floor is yours.
After years at Home Depot, I've seen the shift. Solar energy is here, and we're perfectly positioned to lead the charge. With our resources, our expertise, and our commitment, we have everything it takes to drive a sustainable future. But here's the issue. Our installers see solar panels go to waste every single day. We are harming the environment by destroying habitats, polluting air and waterways, and devastating biodiversity. And it's not just about the wasted materials, but it's about the missed opportunity to give these panels a second life. In an industry that champions sustainability, it's frustrating to see such potential go to waste when we know there's a better way to handle it. We can and should be doing more, and this is where we can make a real impact. Circularity is one of our core pillars, and it's time we live up to that and put these wasted panels to good use. In Texas, where the demand for solar energy has skyrocketed since the 2021 power crisis, the opportunity is clear. Nobody wants to see them go through that crisis ever again. This is Home Depot's chance to show the world what kind of company we are. A company truly devoted to sustainable development and a company that lives up to its word. This is where SolarCycle will step in as our partner in crime to help us stop the waste and make a meaningful impact. This Texas-based company will help us create a single destination for purchasing, returning, and recycling these panels, eliminating waste, and setting a new standard. Let's alleviate the grid strain and make a difference together. I would love the opportunity to tell you more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fiona. You had a couple seconds to spare. All right. And last but definitely not least, UG36, carbon shift.
It's looking like the video won't work again as well.
Okay. I wonder if you might have to.
Perfect.
Oh, how did you fix it?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, that works. All right.
Perfect.
Let me click the timer, and the floor is yours.
Sounds great. Good morning, everyone. I'm representing Carbon Shift UG36, and I want to take this idea back to the 1990s. The idea of carbon credits and what carbon means to our future and to our environments. In the 1990s, some of the Scandinavian governments were the first to implement carbon taxes. And the reason why they did this was because at the time, they realized that somehow or another, in the future, someone would have to pay the financial consequences of increased carbon emissions in our atmosphere, whether that was through increased government infrastructure or through increased health programs that the government would have to issue. Now, since the 1990s, companies and governments around the world have tried to tackle this issue. However, one thing that I'd like to point out is the insurance industry today. Every major insurance industry around the world has a clause in their contracts and in their financial statements talking about how climate change does make a risk towards the future and does have a financial implication in business models. And so for us, we believe that it's critical and imperative that firms need to reduce their carbon emissions through their own practices instead of relying on carbon credits that 90% of the time do not actually work in reducing carbon emissions into our atmosphere. Thank you very much. I'd love to talk to you as a consultant even more. Thank you.
Great job. Fantastic job. I can tell that each of you were very well prepared. You definitely practice a lot and you can see it. So you're very well prepared. You spoke very well. And I appreciate the opportunity to listen to your 90-second speech. So what I'll do is I'll kind of go through each of the group and provide some high-level inputs and feedback to help you refine your 90-second presentation so that the next time you do run into an executive in the elevator, you're ready to start throwing that out. Okay? All right, so I'll start with Green Street Consulting. Very good. It's a very important topic that you just talked about, and I appreciate the enthusiasm that you had in delivering your 90-second speech. One thing I will suggest is try to identify what is the short sentence that really hits on the solution, right? So you have the two starting first sentence, second sentence, what's your problem and what is the solution that you're trying to solve for, just so that it catches it right away. There was a lot of enthusiasm and at times it was moving a little quickly, so it was hard for me to stay with the pace. So you can take out a little bit more content and then slow it down a bit and pause when you hit your hard point so that your listener can follow. Okay. All right. And then next we have UG30 Greenovator Solutions Consulting. I believe that was Gloria, right? Yes. So you spoke very well. You had a very calm confidence in your speech, and I really enjoyed listening to it, and I felt like I was able to follow what you were saying and what you were recommending. This is kind of a similar feedback to everyone too, is know it cold so that you can show and use your hand gesture in certain points that you want to hit on, like the big stuff that you want to really create that impact. So also pause after a very important point that you want to make and let them process it for a couple of seconds, and then you can go. Typically in 90-second presentation, we tend to cram everything in 90 seconds, but sometimes those silent moment and the pause are incredibly powerful. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. UGO8 BMR Solutions. Fiona, definitely you spoke very well. I can see the confidence in what you were saying, and you definitely were you practiced it very well, and I felt the passion as you were explaining it. So similar to some of the other teams is figure out what are the two big things that you want people, if they didn't hear not the full 90 seconds, what are the two things that you want your listener to walk away with, and that, hey, there's a big problem going on and here's the recommended solution and why it's feasible, and condense it in a way where they can walk away remembering exactly what it is, and also pause on those area. Okay. But I was able to kind of tie what you were saying, what the problem was, to what your recommended solution. All right. And UG36 carbon shift, I believe that was Hero. I really liked the pace that you were sharing. I think you slowed down enough for me to follow, and there were times where you did pause, and that allowed me to kind of process. And maybe that's because I'm a different processor than most people. One thing I would recommend is to figure out where the important parts are and really lean in on the enthusiasm. Why this is so important. This is incredibly urgent and we need to take action. So building out some of that enthusiasm and that sense of urgency is kind of, in a sense, a call to action for whoever's listening. And that's general feedback for the entire team here, is you have a really important message that you're trying to deliver in 90 seconds. What is the call to action that people need to take after they hear you?